Hello everybody and welcome back. In the last lesson I showed you how to import an image, and you could use it to draw over it, to trace over it manually. In this lesson I'm going to show you how you can use Inkscape to first import the image and then not trace over it manually but trace over it automatically according to an Inkscape algorithm. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to import an image. I have downloaded the flower Daisy flower from public domain images.net, and I'm going to import the image and move it to my canvas. Let's zoom in a little bit and scroll a bit to the left. I make sure my image is selected and I go to Path, Trace Bitmap. First I will give a demonstration leaving the settings as they are, and I'm going to click on OK. What happens? Nothing appears to happen. I close this window and I click on the image and drag to the right, and I see that on top of the image was created another image. This is the raster image and a vector image was created. Let's click on the node editor and see what happened. We see here a lot of nodes. This black part is all one path. So let's see exactly what happened. I select the image again and I click on Path, Trace Bitmap, and let's have a closer look at this dialog. First of all, we see three options under single scan and three options under multiple scan. The first is a brightness cutoff. In this case, the path, the resulting vector, the vector path is calculated using a threshold which depends on the brightness. If a certain brightness is exceeded, it's not included in the path, and if it's darker than a certain threshold, then it's included in the path. Adjusting this value changes what the threshold brightness is. The second one uses edge detection algorithm. The sensitivity of the edge detection algorithm can be increased or decreased using this second parameter. Third of all, a color quantization is used, where the image is divided into multiple regions of colors, and the various regions correspond to a black or white part of the vector image. The black part counts as part of the path, while the white part is just an empty part. Let's have a look. I'm going to click on OK and see what happens. The yellow parts were converted to black and the blue parts were converted to black. Next we have the possibility to do multiple scans. Multiple scans are the same as single scans, but the algorithm is repeated multiple times, and how do I say, they are placed on top of each other. So multiple paths are created and they're drawn on top of each other. Brightness steps is the same as brightness cutoff, but instead of only one scan, 8 scans are made. I will quickly demonstrate it. I select the image, I select brightness steps, and to make it a bit easier to demonstrate, I select only 2 scans. I click on OK, and the resulting image is a vector like this. Let's look at the node editor, and I see that I have not only one layer in my resulting vector, but multiple layers. If I click now on the selection tool and I double click on the image, remember from the group lesson, if I look here, I see that I've opened a group and I can move the various layers. And I see 3 layers resulting. The bottom layer as well as 2 intermediate layers. I'm going to delete them, and I'm going to go back to select the image and go back to path trace bitmap. And now let's have a look at the colors. 2 scans. Let's click on the check the preview, and I see that my image is divided into 2 sections, a blue section and a black section. If I increase that to pre-scans and I update the preview, I see that my image is divided into the black part, a very light blue part, and the yellow part. If I click on 4 scans, it results in 4 paths, black, yellow, very light blue, and slightly light blue. I'm going to click on OK. Remember, now it creates a group of paths, and I will move them to the right, and I'm going to ungroup the paths to result in a layer of 4 paths. I move it up. This would be the yellow layer. This would be the light blue layer. This would be the black layer. And this would be the background layer with the lightest color in it. I'm going to delete them again. I'm going to select my image. I'm going to go to Path, Trace Bitmap, and I'm going to demonstrate finally what happens when I click on graze. Graze is basically the same as color, but it converts the image to black and white. I click on OK, and as we can see, it results in 4 paths of varying levels of gray. Thank you for your attention. In the next lesson, we are going to learn a bit more about tracing. We are going to learn what these 3 buttons mean and what SIOX foreground selection means. See you in the next lesson.